Omarosa Manigault Newman, a former advisor to President Trump, and Democratic strategist Atima Omara. Let me go to you first. You, Omarosa, was a aide to President Trump. You left. You've since been very clear about your views about his presidency and his character. How do you, first of all, as a black woman, see the designation by Joe Biden of Kamala Harris? And can you, as someone who worked in the last campaign in 2016 for Donald Trump, can you see yourself voting for Kamala Harris as vice president and Joe Biden for president?
First of all, Rev, I am just thrilled that Biden made the right choice. I think it was so critically important for this Democratic nominee to select a black woman, truly the soul of the Democratic Party, which also allows him to activate so many of the coalitions who have long been forgotten in the party. Absolutely, as a proud alum of Howard University and knowing and have lived in California and knowing Kamala Harris, Senator Kamala Harris, it was an excellent choice. And also, this was the worst case scenario for Donald Trump, for Biden to choose a brilliant, intelligent, experienced black woman. It is going to be very difficult for the Trump campaign to respond and to match the wit, the intellect, and the strategy of the Biden campaign with Kamala Harris on the ticket.
Do you think, Atima, that as we hear these attacks, the president going back to birtherism, saying she is nasty, then we hear some even marginal groups on the far left, but noise makers doing what they did to Barack Obama, that we are dealing with some of the cases that we may have disagreed. Are these things going to undermine her, or do you think there's enough momentum and enough people that are fed up with the Trump presidency that the noise on either side is not going to stop the rise of the Biden-Harris ticket?
Well, certainly the Biden-Harris team is taking this very seriously in regards to all of the things that were going to be thrown at Senator Harris. I read recently that Jen O'Malley Dillon and even has sent out calls, certainly to, I am a DNC member, so I sent out calls to surrogates and other party leaders and activists to be prepared for the racist, sexist, and xenophobic tenor of this campaign that the Trump campaign will be throwing at Senator Harris and, by extension, Biden, and how to attack that. So it will definitely be serious. But as Omarosa said earlier, Reverend, this has been a boom for Biden's campaign. I mean, within 48 hours, he raised $48 million. There's been polling put out now by Axios that has shown
within 48 hours. Within 48 hours, he raised 48 hours of announcing Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
$48 million more than he's raised.
$48 million. Yeah, after announcing Senator Harris, $48 million. So it's so much excitement, and that was not even counting the merchandise that was bought from the stores for people who were so excited to get Biden-Harris material. So, I mean,
and new donors.
And new donors, just new donors. And now there's now polling that's coming out that's saying black and brown voters are more excited to support the campaign. So this, I think, we're going to expect a lot of voter suppression tactics, as discussed in the previous segment. This is going to be such a boon for activity on the ground.
Omarosa, if you were advising Senator Harris as one that was involved in the last campaign on the Trump side, what would you want her to be ready for? Give us ideas of what you think they may start, because this is only the beginning. We're going to see after the Democratic convention next week, we're going to see the Republican convention, and they're going to do 4 days of going after Biden and Harris. What would you tell her to prepare herself for?
I would say to Senator Harris that no matter how low you think they can go, they can absolutely go lower. Donald Trump is going to be vulgar. He is going to go into the gutter. He is going to attack things that we decide or we all know in society are off limits. Expect him to distract, to lie, to attack, and more importantly, to try to convince his voters that everything about Senator Harris and Biden is wrong and everything about him is right. But we already know the tactics. I've seen Russian bots going to work in HBCU chat rooms, in chat rooms about women voting groups. We know that he has already dispatched his secret weapon, which is foreign intervention in this election, and we have to be prepared, Ref.
Now, Atima, is it not also true that many on the far right and some even on the far left, not most, but some, don't really understand the base community of the African-American community, brown community, red, yellow, LGBTQ, and that is that we are certainly trying to deal with bad policing, but we also want to deal with gun control and gun violence. And I think that them painting this picture of Kamala Harris being a prosecutor as all negative is not that we're against people that enforce the law properly. We are against those that do not do the right thing. I think they underestimate the intelligence of many in our communities that are saying we're not anti-cop, we're anti-bad cop. We want to correct policing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things, I was having a conversation with a criminal justice reform lawyer just recently, just an activist in that space. And one of the things he said is, you know, just look at the record. Look at the record of things that she has done in comparison to sort of her colleagues at that time, is the conversation I had, and that she has evolved on even the things that we were concerned about. And it is totally fine to have a conversation about accountability and what we can expect, but that Senator Harris is not in line with a Linda Fairstein, which threw the exonerated 5 into jail. She is not in line with any of the DAs who have essentially ended the lives and careers of many Black and brown citizens in this country. And so we know that she's going to be amazing and great on a lot of key issues in this country alongside Joe Biden, and that it is our job not only to get them elected, because we're seeing what another 4 years of Trump-Pence administration is going to do to this community, and we're seeing that we're going to get them elected, and we're going to keep pushing and making them accountable on the issues that we care about, because there is no confusion. They are absolutely nowhere. Biden-Harris is nowhere the same as Trump and Pence. Another 4 years.
I'm out of time, but it will be historic if they win. I was one that worked hard to see a day come where we'd have a black president. We had one from Harvard, and we may have a black vice president from Howard. That's a good way for me to go to my later years. So thank you both for being with us tonight. Thank you, Omarosa Manigault Newman, and, of course, Atima Amara.